Kwesi Ahwoi said that President Mahama was not prepared when Professor Mills apparently died. So, because of the constitutional arrangement, and that's why I was looking for the constitutional article, when the president dies, the vice president takes over. So, Kwesi Ahwoi is telling Nana Opoku-Agyeman that be prepared, because what happened in the John Mahama situation when he was vice president could happen again. Let's hear the full tape, the one that found his way on social media on Sunday. Let's see it.
I was not prepared to be president at that time, but nature skewed things in such a way that President Mills had to give way to John Mahama. Anything can happen. So, Nana, be ever prepared, like your motto says. Be ready. Anything can happen, and you can become the president of the Republic of Ghana. Yeah,
Let's get to the analysis. Here's President John Dramani Mahama, and they're going to get me Nana Opoku-Agyeman's photograph as well. It is, the constitutional provision is correct. It says that, yeah, thank you, I like this one. Excellent. The constitutional provision is correct. It says that John Dramani Mahama, if he's president, any president in Ghana, if he's either incapacitated, he passes, or for some reason he cannot continue to be president, his running mate becomes the president. And that's why we showed you the video. Those of you who are too young to remember, in 2012, John Dramani Mahama was sworn in on the same day, July 24th, 2012, when Professor Mills unfortunately passed. Now, John Dramani Mahama here is younger than Nana Opoku-Agyeman. That's perhaps the natural connection of the story. So John Mahama, if he wins in 2012, Kwesi Ahwoi is suggesting that Nana should be prepared in case John Mahama passes. That is natural. Anybody can pass. But we're going to go deeper into it. Why would Kwesi Ahwoi make such a suggestion? Why would he do that? And then he's written an apology letter or some technical retraction of sorts. And we're going to deal with it. And you'll see that there's a real problem in there that we should deal with. This is not about NDC. This is not about MPP. This is looking at our politicians and the way they talk. And what is their motive and all that. How would Kwesi Ahwoi even suggest? What does he know that people may not know? That makes him suggest that President Mahama here, much more than 5 years younger than Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman, that he is going to die and Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman will become president, so that she should be prepared. 9 months to a campaign, a major campaign. 2024 elections is one of the biggest elections in the history of the country. That's a major campaign. You are fighting the incumbent vice president with the former president. It's a major campaign. Nana has been renominated as the running mate. You're having a party for her. And this is what you say. You don't say how Eastern region is doing, the Central region is doing, the Nana is going to tackle Central region. We believe that you're going to believe that. And you are saying, you've won the election already. Has the election already been won? Every conversation now is about winning the election. If you're a serious politician. No, the election has not been won by anyone. It hasn't been won by MPP. It hasn't been won by NDC. So all the conversation right now is how do we deliver this election? It's a difficult election for both sides. Some people may feel they are ahead. Some people may feel they have won. But the verdict has not yet been announced by the Electoral Commission. And so nobody has won. Now, when nobody has won and we are fighting an election, Kwesi Ahwoi, in his mind, the NDC has already won. So he's telling Nana that, listen, when you become vice president, the man, he could die. So be prepared. Be prepared is one of the biggest political misspeech that I have ever seen in all my coverage of politics as a journalist. I've never seen somebody misspoken like that before. Whether it was a slip of tongue, which it couldn't have been, whether it is motive, even if that, how do you talk like this in public? That the president may pass and so be prepared. You see how Mills died? What? Anyway, Nana responded in a toast. She did. Let's look at the video. Now we're going to do some video analysis here. When you look at the video, we perhaps will play it in slow motion for you to see. Kwesi Ahwoi is standing behind her. And Kwesi Ahwoi makes a gesture when Nana purports to refute the suggestion that President Mahama may not finish his term. Nana purports to refute that suggestion. Kwesi Ahwoi makes a gesture. Have a look.
And our prayer is that the tragedy we experienced a couple of years ago is not repeated, of course. Our prayer is that he will complete his 4-year term. And he will complete it with success, with taste, with class, with with determination, with honesty, and with respect for the people of Ghana. And we know God will have.
So those who explain body language gestures, do I have a glass here? Okay. Kwesi Ahwoi is holding his glass of champagne, and he says, okay. Yes. Okay, what does it mean? It could mean, glory be to God. It could mean, well, it's up to you. It could mean, I don't know. But that was Kwesi Ahwoi's response to Jenana trying to correct I think at that time, Kwesi Ahwoi had still not noticed that he had said something very wrong. Because certainly, Jenana's response to the toast did not contain, before the program started, Jenana knew that she was going to respond to a toast. Her preparation for her response to the toast did not contain those words that President Mahama will complete his term. Those words were brought in because of Kwesi Ahwoi's faux pas. Kwesi Ahwoi appeared not to have noticed that he's committed a faux pas. He didn't know. He was enjoying his champagne and gesturing. My goodness. Politician. 2024. Social media. Camera everywhere. A politician is unaware. He's aloof. Oblivious to his surroundings. He doesn't understand what is happening. You are predicting that somebody is going to die. And the person that you are doing it for has noticed that you've said something terrible. And she's trying to correct it because she's desperate to correct it. Even the look on her face was bizarre when Kwesi Ahwoi was speaking. She's trying to correct it, and then you do, I don't care. Well, sometime after the story broke with all the hula baloos, you can expect communication people to start working, get to work very, very quickly. So Sammy Gyamfi got to work. This is what they put out in favor of Kwesi Ahwoi. Let's have a look at what it is. All right. Sammy Gyamfi put out on his Twitter page, says Kwesi Ahwoi writes, this is what Uncle Kwesi says. He says, I have taken notice of the unfortunate controversy that has arisen as a result of a comment I made at a reception organized last Thursday by the Church Street group of the NDC faithfuls of Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, running mate to our esteemed flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama. That's where the problem starts. The event was organized by a group he calls Church Street Group. I don't know where they got that name from, but I have referred to them that way before. When the Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, if you go back to our Facebook page, 2020, the day that Jenana Opoku-Agyeman was appointed, viewers can check now. Go back to Good Evening Ghana official. We put up a post that Church Street is supporting Jenana Opoku-Agyeman. That Komnadufo is this. Then we put up a post again that it appears to us from our sources that Church Street will win the day. Jenana Opoku-Agyeman will be nominated as John Mahama's running mate. That was the first time in 2020. So that's where Church Street comes. What's Church Street? Church Street is a street in Laboni. Those who don't know, if you live in Accra, you know Laboni Secondary School. So you are approaching Laboni Secondary School from Laboni Junction. You come drive in front of, no, you don't actually get to Laboni Secondary School. Well, Laboni is such that you can go there from anywhere. But the shortest way to go if you're coming from Laboni Junction is to take the SDA 10 on the left. And then you take that 10, you go in front of a restaurant they used to call Hilon. Now they call it Regal. And then you turn right over there. And then you turn right again. That's a street called Church Street. Why is it significant? Church Street is very, very significant to NDC politics because that was where Adom-Otchere took office when Professor Mills was elected as president and began his presidency. Adom-Otchere took office from there, and it was commonly said that if you want something to be done under the Mills presidency, forget about the castle, forget about the vice president, go to Church Street. That's where you can get it done. That was the center of power. The centrifugal force that drove the Professor Mills presidency was located at a bungalow at Church Street, occupied by the Ahwoi brothers. Because Kwesi Ahwoi, Kwame Ahwoi, Adom-Otchere. I've been there before to see Uncle Ato. Other people, the day I got there, I remember Harry Zakor was there. And, Gapoha board chairman is there. Everybody for some people in those days. That is Church Street. So that's what he's saying here. That a Church Street group of the NDC faithfuls organized something for Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman. When I get to tell you the story, you will see why Church Street may have tensions with John Dramani Mahama. That's making the matter worse for Kwesi Ahwoi. He didn't have to mention Church Street here because journalists like us are going to analyze it, open it up, and show to viewers what is Church Street. And that Church Street group appears to have tensions with John Mahama, arising out of things that happened at the Mills presidency, connected directly to Martin Amidu, connected directly to Airbus. Tonight, we'll feed you with everything. Everything is coming. All right. So it says it was organized by the Church Street Faithfuls for Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, running mate of our esteemed flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama. I sincerely regret the wrong impression that my comment has created. Indeed, it was not my intention, and never will it be my intention, to pray that H.E. John Mahama does not serve his full 4-year term when he wins the 2024 general elections. Okay, it goes on. I concede that I misspoke on the occasion. I accept the criticisms in good faith, even though some of the criticisms arise out of a deliberate misrepresentation of my statement. Now, that's the problem. Why is it that when politicians want to apologize, they don't have the humility to just say that, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm unconditionally sorry, I'm just sorry. What is all this? Even though some criticisms arise out of deliberate, what misrepresentation of this statement can you give? Please, Kwesi Ahwoi should tell us. What misrepresentation? Play the Kwesi Ahwoi video again, just the Kwesi Ahwoi, not the montage, the full one. Hold it, get it ready. Let me ask viewers. Kwesi Ahwoi says that there's been deliberate misrepresentation of this statement you made. You said, Nana, you remember Professor Mills. John Mahama was not prepared. So like your Wesley Girls motto says, be prepared. And be prepared because anything can happen and you will become president. If you isolate it and say that, or if you generalize it, I should say, if you generalize it and say that, Nana, the Constitution says that you take over from the president. So be prepared because anything can happen. That is also bad, but that is general. But here, you began with an analogy of Professor Mills. What happened to Professor Mills? He unfortunately died. And you are saying that John Mahama was not prepared. So you, Nana, be prepared. Your analogy is Professor Mills. So what are you saying? It's a simple mathematical equation. Professor Mills is to John Mahama as president. Jenana Opoku-Agyeman is to John Mahama as vice president. That's all you are saying. And then you come and tell us that there's been misrepresentation of what? Play the video.
To be president at that time. But nature skewed things in such a way that President Mills had to give way to John Mahama. Anything can happen. So, Nana, be ever prepared, like your motto says. Be ready. Anything can happen. And you can become the president of the Republic of Ghana. Yeah, Nana.
Nature skewed things. Kwesi Ahwoi, he says, nature skewed things. And John Mahama became president. So, Nana, be prepared. What is the context of nature skewing things? Professor Mills unfortunately passed. So, please, Sami Jemfi, cancel this thing. This is your thing. Please cancel it. Even though some criticisms arise out of, nobody is representing Kwesi Ahwoi. Nobody is. He misspoke, completely misspoke. He committed the biggest political faux pas in the history of the Fourth Republic, perhaps in the history of the rest of the policies of the nation. This is the biggest political faux pas. It's unrecoverable just to say, I am sorry, and vanish. It's not recoverable, Kwesi Ahwoi. It's not recoverable. And if you want to recover, don't start with some people have misrepresented. That's a bit of... Okay. Indeed, Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, in response to my toast, pointed out the erroneous impression created by my statement and was categorical in asserting that she was certain that H.E. John Mahama will win 2024 general elections and will serve his full 4-year term. We have seen that video, haven't we? What he didn't say is a gesture that he made. He didn't tell us that when Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman was responding, he gestured. He said, well, okay, it's up to you. Yeah. Well, all right. Everybody can interpret that. He continues. It is unfortunate that my statement appears to have taken the shine off what was otherwise a cheerful and light-hearted occasion. That's certainly sure. A statement has taken it out of it completely. I hereby render an unreserved, unqualified apology to H.E. John Dramani Mahama, Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, the leadership and the rank and file of the great NDC. Comrades and friends, let us put this unfortunate incident behind us and unite behind our flag bearer, the visionary nation builder, to rescue our beloved country in December 2024 elections. Signed, Kwesi Ahwoi, co-signed, Sami Jemfi. This is what I wanted to share with you at the conclusion of it. What does it say in Matthew chapter 12, verse 34? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will always speak. Kwesi Ahwoi. Out of the abundance, this is in Matthew chapter 12, verse 34. In the Christian Holy Bible, as we get into Easter, let me do the sign of the cross. We all know that Easter is coming and it's a time for sober reflection on the death of the Lord Jesus. So I'm reminding Kwesi Ahwoi, Matthew chapter 12, verse 34. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh.
John Attemills, at the age of 68, fell ill and died just a few hours after being admitted at...
Attemills was to run again, but his party's ticket will now be taken on by Dramani Mahama.
Be faithful and true to the Republic of Ghana.
John Dramani Mahama is Africa's newest leader. He was sworn in just hours after the announcement of the death of his predecessor, Ghanaian President John Attemills.
Nana, be ever prepared, like your motto says. Be ready. Anything can happen, and you can become the president of the Republic of Ghana. So, Nana, be ever prepared, like your motto says. Be ready. Anything can happen, and you can become the president of the Republic of Ghana.